Hey, welcome back everyone. Today we're going to continue our little scratch removal series we just started. And in the first video, we took care of scratches that went down through the clear coat into the base coat. Today we're going to jump to scratches that are near the surface, very light, and appear very easy to remove because I get a ton of questions on those. And when I used to teach youngsters how to take care of them, the most frequently asked question was, why can't I just grab a DA, an aggressive pad, and just keep making passes until it's gone? Doesn't that seem simple enough? Well, it does, but it's not the best route for your clear coat, and I'm going to tell you why here. This is a fender, and you have a scratch in this one area. If you're going back and forth with a DA, you're going to be raising temperature in this area in excess of 140 degrees, where the rest of the panel is room temperature. That is one heck of a lot of stress to put on the clear coat when you can do exactly what I'm going to show you in this video. Keep temperature rising to a minimum and give your clear coat a break that's already been through enough stress with this damage and scratch. So let me show you what I mean. All right, today you're with me out in the shop midday doing some real world work, have a customer's car, a rather new one, that has some very light scratches, exactly what we were talking about in the opening, that we need to remove. How many of you would just run a DA back and forth with a pad and an aggressive compound and just run it back and forth and do passes until it's completely gone? Well, let me show you a way here that will keep the stress on that clear coat on such a new card to a minimum. We're going to protect surrounding plastic trim like I have here and protect the edges. I popped the hood. We're going to use Trizact discs. Here's a new one. This is exactly what it looks like. This is 3000 grit. I have my favorite foam block. Fits my old arthritic hands just well. And here we go. So just a little bit of water, and you can see how I have the foam block gripped. Just one finger on top, the rest on the side with firm pressure. It's not a lot of pressure. It's a little bit more than usual because I am using the 3000 grit to remove some scratches, and 3000 grit really isn't that aggressive when it comes to sanding paper. For each pass, especially this first one here, I'm going to sand until you see that milky white color. That's clear coat. That means we're actually starting to shave some clear coat, and I want to stop right there. I want to dry it off, wait till it's completely dry, and then you can go and inspect it and see if the scratch is gone. If you can get the scratch to be removed in just that short of time, that's awesome. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. If you can't, you just got to keep going and do more passes. This is what it looks like right now after one pass. The scratches are gone. If they're not, if they remain, you will see it. It'll look worse than it did before you started. So you just have to do another pass until it's gone. Keep an eye on the texture of the clear. Keep an eye on that orange peel-like texture that most clear coats have. If you have that clear coat looking perfectly flat and glossy and no texture at all, well, you're getting really deep and it's time to decide what you want to do. So I removed the scratches and I have moved on here to 5000 grit. A lot of people would have jumped from the 3000 right to a DA. Again, I don't want to raise the temperature. That's a lot of stress for clear coat. No matter what anybody tells you, it's a lot of stress to bring the temperature up on clear in one section over double what the surrounding section is. This is what it looks like after 5000 grit. You could already see it has lightened up, and actually clarity is starting to come back already without even doing any polishing. From this step here, all we have to do is go to an ultra fine polish. So when I get to this stage of the correction and it is time to compound or polish, I'm going to reach for the angel wax, something I do often. And this here is Redemption. It's an ultra fine polish. It has very fine abrasives, very effective. And I'm going to use the Flex XFE 71280 3-inch polisher and a polishing pad. And I will be removing the marks from the 5000 grit paper, which won't take me long at all. Pressure is rather light here. I'm just using my hands to guide the polisher back and forth. I'm not correcting. I'm just refining at this point. Not a lot of heat is going to be generated not a lot of pressure. The clear coat is going to be at ease compared to being aggressive, having a lot of pressure, drawing a lot of heat. The polisher is only on in between its second and third speed. Friction is going to be light. Temperatures are going to be kept low. By the way, guys, if you've ever heard horror stories of somebody doing a correction and it looks great, the next day or week the customer comes back and you can see the scratches or even swirl marks or hazing. Well, that's because the temperatures have risen so much. The paint, the clear, has swelled. Those imperfections, those scratches, those swirls were hidden that way. And when it leaves, it cools down, the paint relaxes, and those areas come back again. That's why I choose to wet sand as much as possible in as many cases as I can to do correction. Doesn't matter what it is, scratches, imperfection, damage, or even swirls. So we're going to move on to our perfect polish. And what this does, I've had a lot of questions on this. Yes, it's supposed to be a real light, milky texture to it, thickness. It's thin. It's more of a cleaner with very, very light abrasives. It's what I use to, if you want to use the term, jewel the paint before I add protection of any kind at all, really. That's what I use. Brings out the best clarity, the best gloss, the best shine to whatever surface you're working on. And its main purpose is cleaning residue from a correction, prepping the paint. It is a paint prep polish, prepping it for the next step after a correction, which is adding a wax, a sealant, or a coating. After this step, then I will go over it again with an IP solution and make sure it's perfectly clean. Again, I don't have anything on top of the machine pushing down, applying pressure. My hands are to the side of the flex polisher, just guiding it back and forth. The pressure is light. I'm just refining, bringing out the best clarity and the shine right now. Not really much residue after this cleaner or polish, but what is left over, I'm going to use an IP solution to make sure it's perfectly clean. Okay, give me a minute. I'm going to grab the camera. I want to bring you in, give you a few angles, take a look at our progression. Okay, the scratches are completely gone, and we've removed them without disturbing the texture of the panel. It still has the orange peel sort of effect or texture to the surface. We didn't disturb that, bringing more attention to the area than we wanted to. And the scratches are gone. It's glossy again. It's clear, reflective, and it's time to protect. And then I'll give you the before and afters. If you know of any body shop whatsoever, they are usually more than happy to donate a few panels to make their pile a little bit lighter. So I really urge you guys to go out, get a couple panels, practice, and put this weapon in your arsenal. You'll be thankful. Okay, guys, if you have any questions at all on what we just covered today, don't hesitate to ask. Either down in the comments section, send me a message. My email is easy to get a hold of. And I'll put a link down below for some sandpaper for those Trizact discs. They really help a lot. And just a quick overview. It is so much easier on your clear if you learn how to wet sand, learn how to do it correctly. Something like this can be taken care of without raising the area temperature double what the surrounding temperature is going to be, and put your clear coat through a lot of stress. I hope that makes sense. So I am going to work on a video where I take care of scratches like the one we took care of today on the same panel. I'm going to do one wet sanding like we just did today. I'm going to do the other running the DA with an aggressive pad back and forth until it's gone. And I'll have a tool that shows you the difference between the two methods of correction, and it'll show you which one is so much easier on the clear coat and a heck of a lot quicker to get done, really. So, Brian from Apex Detail, catch you in the next video.